por último está Olivier. Olivier, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, Olivier. Yes, of course.
Great.
So, Olivier is a founder of Lab, consulting company dedicated to new products development. He is a LabVIEW architect and LabVIEW champion. He's going to present Antidoc documentation tool for LabVIEW. It's all you.
You can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'd like to thank you for the invitation. I'm really pleased to present in your user group, and I hope you will enjoy my presentation. So as you said before, if I make a quick introduction, I'm Olivier Jourdan. I'm LabVIEW champion. I'm a certified LabVIEW architect, and I've been working with LabVIEW for 20 years now. And 2 years ago, I started my own company, Lab. We are an AI partner and DQMH trusted advisor. And if you want to know more about us, just reach out to us on LinkedIn or on our website, and I will be happy to talk more about Lab, but it's not the topic today. Today, I'd like to talk about a project I've been working on for more than 1 year now, and its project is Antidoc. And Antidoc is all about documenting your code, your LabVIEW code. So I divided my presentation in 5 parts. Some introduction notes about documentation, the goals of Antidoc, what you can currently get in the latest version of the tool, how it works, what's under the hood, and finally, the next steps to come, what feature I want to add to the tool. So let's get started and talking about writing documentation. Why we need to write documentation when you develop with LabVIEW or any other languages. First, I think it's to help understanding the code. So for maintenance purpose, to onboard new developers on a project, to share information with non-developers people. When you have a documentation of your code, it's easier to do all these tasks. The second reason you need to write documentation sometimes is just to comply with regulation rules, or probably just to make what your customer, what the end user asks you. What's happening usually with the documentation? If it exists for your project, there's a lot of chances that the documentation is not up to date with the code, because writing documentation is not the priority, the #1 priority. We want the code working for what you need to do, but writing documentation is not the real priority. It's not easy to write documentation. A real valuable documentation takes time to write, and of course we love write documentation. Everybody here spend hours on Microsoft Word writing documentation. So I'm kidding, of course, but the thing I want to point out here is we need to write documentation, and often the documentation is not up to date, and an out-of-date documentation is often worse than no documentation at all. So what are the goal of Antidoc? The main goal is to generate LabVIEW source code documentation automatically. You don't have to write the doc. The second goal was to take the best out of available information. So we are using LabVIEW, and there are information in our code in the LabVIEW project. So there is explicit information like description you can find in the project, class, VI, etc. And there are also implicit information like communication between the different parts of the code. So we need to take all this info and put this info in the documentation. And at the end, we want a document in a standard file format, like HTML or PDF. We don't want to, when I started the project, I wasn't able to say what will be the output, the final output. So I try to have something that can fit with any different tool you can use on your side. If it's GitLab or other tool to manage your documentation. And for the first version of Antidoc, there were specific goals for me. And these two goals was to validate the generation workflow, be sure that it's possible to generate a PDF or HTML file starting with a LV-proj parsing. And the second really important thing was to validate the capability to get valuable documentation. So 20 years ago, when I started working with LabVIEW, there was already a tool that allow you to list all the VI in a project. There wasn't a project 20 years ago, but every VI in your application having the description of the VI, but for me it's not valuable information. So that was the specific goal for the first version of Antidoc. So what you get with Antidoc v11, the latest version of the tool. Before showing you that, I want to introduce something really important. I talk about implicit content you can find in a project. And to get this content, you need to analyze the code and the code components. And this content is really valuable. So it's really important. But to analyze the code components, we need to choose or to rely on frameworks, on things we can analyze programmatically. Currently, Antidoc only supports DQMH framework component parsing because this is the framework I'm using for all my projects. And when I started the project, I would like to have this project working for my project too. So currently it's working just with DQMH. You get the most of Antidoc with DQMH framework, but it's not relying on DQMH. I want to be clear on that. So how you can get your documentation? First, you need to install Antidoc from the IPM. It's 2 minutes installation. And when it's installed, you get the tool directly from LabVIEW in the tool menu. And you have a menu, WowaLab, doc generation, that open the window you can see on the right here. And after that, it's really simple. You just need to select the LV project you want to document, add a title for your document. You can add an author and an email. And then you click on the generation, and it's going to parse your project and generate the file. And to view the file, you just need to have Chrome or Opera or Firefox and install ASCII-Doctor.js Live Preview extension. And once you made that, here is what you can obtain. So this is an HTML document. So you can see this document is made from, is generated from the template project you can have with the DQMH framework. And you can see that we have a lot of information in it. We have really modern way to browse and to go through your document. So you have a table of content, so you can go to any section you want. You have table with internal links, and you can use them. You have table, you have graphs, and if I show you what you can get from the implicit information you can retrieve from DQMH. I want to show you, for example, the module overview section. So we have here the list of the module in the project. You have different kind of module with DQMH, the singleton and the clonable. In this project, we have only singleton modules. And just below this graph, this table, we have a graph that represents the relationship between all the modules. And this is something you cannot get looking at the LabVIEW project. So this is really a valuable information you can get with Antidoc. So you can see your 4 modules, and you can see the request from one module to another one, the broadcast data sent and listened by the other modules. And if you want to know more about one of this module, you just have to click on one of the modules, and you get more detailed information on this module. You can the responsibility of this module. So this is something the developer add in the LVlib description. And after that, you have a section that show you who is starting the module, who is stopping the module. You have a table with more accurate information with the VI that has the start and stop module VI. And you have the relationship for this specific module with a graph and 4 tables that list the request used by other module, the broadcast listened by other module. So this is the orange arrows and the green arrows here. And you have 2 other table related to what the module is, what request the module is using. So, and what broadcast he's listening. So this module is just using one request from setting editor, and you can see it's this is just a call, internal call. But if you have a request that call another module, you would see it in the graph. I think, in my opinion, I think it's really valuable information. And with this kind of documentation, it's really easy to onboard a new member in your development team, because you can show him the big picture of the architecture, and you know that this is up to date because it's generated automatically, so it's really easy to get. And you also you can let design reviews, and I'm basically working alone, but generating this documentation helped me to find some bug or some error in the architecture, just looking at the graph and looking at the different call you can get. I told you that you need to have an up-to-date documentation. So I am also providing a CLI tool, so you can call Antidoc from your CI, your continuous integration process. So you can use your command line your preferred command line interface to call Antidoc and to generate the documentation. And you can glance at this GitLab project to see a full CI configuration. But with this, you can have anytime you push something on your shared repository, you can have a task that build the documentation for you. So you have literally documentation for every step of your development. I talk about also about the output format. So I showed you an HTML5 output. You can also get PDF, EPUB, and DocBook. I think the first two formats are really interesting because HTML5 it's really interesting for web visualization, but PDF can be really useful for sending the document or for printing it. And there is also something really interesting with these two different formats. You can customize them. So for the HTML, you can use CSS to customize the colors and the font, etc. And you can also customize PDF. And I want to show you the same document we went through earlier, but in a PDF format. And this is the customization I made for the documentation we make at Lab. And so you can see that this is a PDF file with pages. We have a title, a page title with the company logo, with the name of the document, the name of the author, the same table of content with the same feature. You can click on the different section. And on each pages, you have a footer and a header with the company logo, etc. So you can do what you want with customization. And you can see also that the font used is not the usual one. This is the font defined with the graphical chart we use at Overlap. So the output file are really, I think, really professional, and you can send them to your customer really. I think, to be honest, when I was writing documentation with Word, I never had this kind of look and feel at the end of my hours and hours of writing with Word. And this document, and this is a document, so this is a really small project. We have 39 pages. On the last project I made, I get 400 pages automatically. And I heard during the GLA summit someone that use Antidoc and get a document with more than 1,500 pages. amazing to know that. But and it was really interesting for her to have this this document. So how it works, what's under the hood? I had some challenges, and the challenges perhaps wasn't the parsing of the project. I was thinking it's possible. I know it was. I know it. It was possible, but the real challenge was the output file. I need to find a way to offer multiple output file formats. And I really would like to concentrate the development efforts on the parsing, on getting the valuable information into the LV proj, and not on how I was going to generate the final file. So the solution I came to use was to write simple plain text file. So I'm just writing text file, and it's really easy to do that in LabVIEW. But I'm using a specific syntax, a markup format named Antidoc. And this markup format comes with a toolchain, ASCII Doctor toolchain, that allows you to convert any ASCII doc file in PDF, HTML, etc., etc. So if we look at a picture on how things works, you can generate the documentation via the user interface or via the command line interface. So Antidoc here is parsing the LV proj, and it just outputs an ad hoc file. This is an intermediate file. You can open it. It's readable, but it's really not easy to see, and you don't have the pictures, you don't have the graph, etc. And with this ad hoc file, you have two different solutions. You use the web browser with the extension, and you have a HTML preview with the graphs. Or you use the toolchain, and you get the HTML, the PDF, and all the format you want to have. So the work for Antidoc project is just generating the ad hoc, parsing the project, and generating the ad hoc files. So I think this is the good way to do that, and it was part of the goal to validate the process, and the process is here, and it's really working. I need to point out that Antidoc rely on open source project. So ASCII Doctor is open source. And we also use 3 different LabVIEW open source projects. ASCII Doc Toolkit for LabVIEW that is used for generating the ad hoc file. This is a project I own too. That's in fact the first project I made for this tool. I also use Graph Builder. This is a tool that allow you to get the graphs in the document, and GCLI to allow the use of Antidoc with the command line interface. And obviously, Antidoc is open source, so you can have access to the code source, and you can help the project by reporting issues, sharing feature ideas, contributing to the code documentation, etc., to the code or to the documentation, etc., etc. I'd like to take the opportunity of this presentation to give a special thanks to the Antidoc contributors. So Bertrand, Cyril, Fabiola, Jörg, and Tatiana, thank you for your time and for your help on this project. last part, what's next? This is something I want to add to Antidoc. So I showed you, I get a lot of information passing the QMH framework. I also want to get information from the object-oriented classes you can have in your project. So this is a work in progress. I'm really confident that the next version of Antidoc will have this, will add this feature. This is something, the diagram you can see here is already generated by the beta version, but we need to work on it still. I also want to add support for other framework, actor framework, GK state machine object, GK state machine. Also, the thing is, I need to know what information could be interesting when you use this kind of framework. For the QMH, I know that because I use it every day, but I'm not an actor framework, GK state machine object, or any other framework user. So I need to discuss with these users to know what Antidoc need to display and to have in the documentation, the final documentation. There's a lot more thing to add. There's some place to improve the parsing of the DQMH framework. I need to add libraries filtering, add multi-target support, etc., etc. 2 years ago, I spoke with someone that asked me if it was possible to parse testant project or testant workspace. I'm not a testant developer, so I don't really know that. But as soon as as long as the project is open, anybody that have ID can implement it, and I will be happy to help and to get Antidoc a step further. There are some resources. I will share the presentation on your community page. So if you want to know more about Antidoc, you can have access to the VIPM, to the website, to the project on GitLab, and there are some YouTube video to show you Antidoc works. So that's all from me. Muchas gracias. And if you have any question, I will be happy to try to answer them.
Thank you very much, Olivier. We started doing some automatic documentation, but it has nothing to do with the level of your program. We only collect very small information, and it's very interesting, your program. We probably will ask you some question maybe later. I think we are going to show your code and try to contribute.
Yeah. I would be happy to do that.
Anyone have any question? I guess the question will be when we
sorry, only one question. Well, only one comment. First of all, thank you very much. This is very interesting, this information, also for us, for Nulma. And I only want to comment that you have said that you are interested on the development of this tool for TestStand, for example. I only want to comment that we in our projects we use very often TestStand. So we will get in touch because we are very interested in do some test or in help you with this tool. So I don't know if you have spoke with Yarovit, but for us it's very interesting because we are very focused in test sequence development. In the most of our projects we use TestStand, and we think that we can collaborate for it.
I can encourage you to go to the GitLab project, and I think there already an issue talking about test-on integration. So feel free to add comments on it. I know that the guy that told me about test-on is using DQMH, and he has an idea of knowing which sequence call which module and request, etc. So this is related to DQMH. And if you have other way to think about test-on integration, yes, please add comments on GitLab, and I will be happy to continue the discussion on GitLab.
Okay, perfect.
Great.
That's all for my hand.
So, thank you very much, Oliver. Muchas gracias a todos los que habéis presentado. No sé si